This is D&D on the Farm RPG. I am your Dungeon Master Belogan. Joining us today, again, are our intrepid players. We'll start with Augie.
Hi, I'm playing Astley, the gnome bard.
And I will only call Astley Spectre 3 times tonight, I promise. And vice versa.
It's a high bar.
It's my limit. If I hit 3, you could fire me.
I will.
Next, we have Boobun.
Hi, I'm Boobun. I'm playing Spectre, the rabbit rogue.
And lastly, we have Cole.
Hello. I am playing Kokusho, the bronze dragonborn ranger, who is apparently very scared of this bear.
Terrified, petrified, mortified. I can't remember all the sayings. Go along from that. So I don't want to spend a long time giving long recaps because I've heard those are not very popular. But essentially, we are picking up with our adventures, Spectre, Kokusho, and Astley, at the campsite in the Misty Forest, about 2 days out of town, searching for the Golden Chalice for Borgin, who had visited through, and it was lost. He suspected some rodents of unusual size had taken off with it. And what we presume was an ROUS was spotted in the morning by Kokusho. It was tracked to a clearing, and that clearing, after searching around, it looked like the rat never left, but we never went into the clearing because there was a very annoyed bear beating up on something, like a tree stump or a tree or something like that. Definitely something wooden, it sounded like it was pounding into, and the bear sounded frustrated. Rather than engaging, Spectre and Kokusho returned to camp, where it's now early morning and Astley is cleaning up. I assume that means all the bedrolls are made and breakfast is ready to go.
Yeah, we're pretty much ready to roll if we need to.
All right. So this clearing from where the campsite wasn't terribly far off. It was just a couple minutes kind of track of the trail of this giant rodent. And it was clear, and even more so on your way back to the campsite, that this particular trail has been traveled frequently, probably about as frequently as this campsite has been using, which lets you conclude that the campsite being used by travelers here is often raided by these rodents for grabbing food or whatever else it is that they are interested in. From here, you don't hear the bear anymore. You really need to kind of hear it when you're closer to the clearing, but you know the bear is there. So the decision is now up to the party. How would you like to proceed? If you'd like to continue to try to find where this ROUS went, or if you'd like to try to deal with the bear somehow, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it. That is up to you guys how you would like to proceed.
Well, did you guys notice, was it only the one path to the clearing? Like one way in, one way out?
From what we saw, yes, I'm going to say. But I think we have to be a little bit cautious because if you have food cook gear, bears really are attracted to that. So you got to think about that a little bit.
Okay. Well, because I'm kind of thinking, as a rock gnome, I'm a tinkerer, so I can craft a little music box and have it play whatever song I want when I open it at a moderate volume. So we could try to lure the bear back, somewhere else, and then have somebody sneak over to try to figure out where that big creature went, the other creature.
I'm down for sneaking.
Sounds like a good idea.
I can't sneak, so I can distract.
I got you covered on the sneak. No worries on the sneak. But I'm not sure how much we'll need the music box with all this food that you've crafted for us for breakfast here. We could probably just lure him out with this delightful meal that you've made for us.
You could try to do that. Maybe lay down a little bit in a little trail. Throw it.
What if the bear just really likes music, though?
I mean, we could test the bear's sensibilities, whether he's a food or a music man.
He could be both.
It's a possibility.
He likes dinner and a show. I mean, I'm a fan of this bear. If that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's friendly.
Well, the bear didn't sound very friendly, but maybe.
Okay, well let's get this show on the road and get this bear lured away, and then we can sneak in there, or I can sneak in there and see what's up.
I craft a small music box, prepare the song that I would like it to play. It is a 4-minute song, roughly. Where do you think guys think I should place it? And who's gonna protect me if this bear does come barreling down and decides I'm the food?
Well, I'll stay and protect you, and Miss Sneaky Sneak can inspect.
I go check out that whatever that bear's pounding on. So I'd say let's have you throw that in a different direction from yourself, but a different direction also from the clearing, and then I'll sneak on in once we can hear this bear leave the area.
I hand the music box to Kokusho to throw. I am small.
All right. Sounds like you guys are going to get closer to the clearing. Then Kokusho and Astley are going to break off one direction, Spectre the other. And then using the music box and food, you'll try to lure the bear out. And then Spectre is going to sneak in.
Yes.
Yes. That sounds about right.
If all goes well.
Fantastic. So we'll see how well this goes. What I'm going to do is have Kokusho and Astley make a survival check to try to set up this trap or this lure with the food. 17
for me.
17, very nice.
Only 13 for me.
13, that's all right. That's all right. That's still pretty good for this kind of a check. And for Spectre, I'm going to have you make a stealth and a perception check both.
You got it. Here's my stealth, which is an 11. Not very good, but okay. And perception, a solid, a solid 0. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, it was nothing. A 1, but I have a negative 1.
It was a 1.
It was so.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Do Roboxy have advantage on perception checks that depend on smell or anything like that?
I did not get one when I rolled the character, so
probably not. Okay.
Probably not. No. In fact, I think it gave me a negative 1 to perception. So.
Well, that's perception checks, but sometimes some creatures I know, and I didn't know if the Tabaxi base had this or not, when they're making perception checks based on smell or something like that, they get advantage on it.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a no.
You see nothing. You're just blinded by the mist.
Yeah, Kokusho and Astley, we'll start with you two this time. You guys circle off, we'll say to the left of the trail. And you get to where you're going to set down your food. You pick this because the breeze is kind of blowing to where it would send the smell of the food towards the clearing. And then you start the music box. As that's happening, Spectre heads the opposite direction, going, did I say right? I guess left this time. The opposite way around the clearing. Spectre is able to blend in and hide pretty well, but the fog is getting thicker and it's really, really hard to see anything. So mostly Spectre's just kind of listening to see if you can hear anything at all. And unfortunately, you don't hear much. The fog, in addition to making vision hard, it's also kind of dampening the sound a little bit. And you might have gone a little bit further than you intended to as you're sneaking around and trying to pay attention to what was going on, but really struggling to do so.
Oh boy.
Back to Spectre and Kokusho. The smell of the food is starting to wave. Oh, Astley and Kokusho. There's one. The smell of the food is starting to waft through the air, and you can smell it. And then the music box starts to play, and you're getting ready to run as soon as you have any sign of this bear.
The music box is playing.
Someone's
so
playing some lovely music.
It's the music box. It was just for dramatic
All right.
effect. Anyways.
Suddenly, you hear something. And it's not quite what you're expecting. You're expecting to hear something charging or sniffing the air. And instead, what you hear is an incredibly loud snore. And you realize this bear is not going to go anywhere. It's fallen asleep.
So we no longer hear the banging noise from before, right?
The banging has stopped. Yeah. Whatever's trying to do, it's tuckered out. It is snoozing.
Interesting.
I asked Astley to turn off the music to not wake up the bear accidentally.
Close the music box. Wondering if that's what put it to sleep.
Oh, maybe.
Could have been.
Well, do you think we should leave the music then? I think that sounds... Did we hear the banging when we walked in? The mist was very thick, so it was kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, you didn't hear it at all when you came back. So it had kind of died out when you're walking back towards camp, and as you returned, you didn't hear it all. And now you're hearing the snores of the large beast.
Okay.
And I'm currently in the clearing with this beast.
I think you weren't quite in the clearing yet. You were trying to find the edge of the clearing, but you're not.
I have not found it. Okay, good. I was going to say.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
I want to try and, take a few steps and see what I see. And, investigate the area in general.
Okay.
Is that just an investigation check?
Should we go in the same direction, or should we split up?
I'm going kind of towards the bear.
Okay.
I would probably call out perception. So investigation would be if you're trying to figure out how something works. In this case, you're just kind of seeing what you can notice, I guess. That would be perception. If you're trying to figure something out, that would be more investigation. Whichever feels appropriate.
7.
All right. And Kokusho, are you with Astley?
No, I'll fan out, I guess, to the left a bit and go
a little bit further.
What I think would be like a semicircle loop in instead of directly to the bear, or at least what I attempt to do with the limited visibility.
All right, let me have you roll a perception check as well. Then
I rolled an 18.
There we go.
All right. As you are kind of circling around to the side, you're keeping an eye on the clearing, trying to figure out where to go in, and you see something very quietly approaching you through the mist. The outline you recognize as Spectre.
A rat? Oh, Spectre. No. Okay. All right, I walk up to Spectre, who is probably flailing around in the mist.
Like, where's the clearing edge?
I'm just flailing around in a bush, just like waving my arms around like, where the heck am I? I've lost myself in here. These damn rabbit eyes. Not very good.
I tell her that Astley is going towards the bear and wonder if she also wants to do that or continue.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Circle-y. Okay.
Let's go. Let's group back up, and maybe we can
towards the bear.
Find this bear together. I do hear him snoring a bit, so I have a feeling that maybe if we're kind of sneaky, we could get by him.
I continue towards the bear, unknowing of that entire conversation, and pull out a little snack.
Unaware, yep.
I'm gonna try to feed the bear.
You come in closer to this bear that's snoring loudly, and as you get towards the middle of the clearing, you got to be pretty close, maybe within about 10, 15 feet of it before you can make out the outline. And there's a couple things you notice. So you notice the bear is kind of curled up on the ground, and there's a tree stump there, maybe about 2.5 feet tall, and it kind of has its arms wrapped around the tree stump like like a pillow, and its head's resting on this tree stump. There are definitely claw marks on this tree stump. There's bark that has been knocked off and peeled off. And the other thing you notice is a very sweet smell that you recognize as the scent of wine.
Where it at, though? I'm in.
The closer to the bear you get, the stronger it gets.
This bear's drunk.
And I will say Spectre and Kokusho noticed kind of the same thing coming from one of the other sides.
Immediately, I'm entranced. I need to know
I'm sneaking
more.
up as quickly as I can to get next to Astley, to put my hand on their shoulder and be like, I don't know how close to this drunk bear we should be getting.
I continue. I need to know more.
Yeah, you can walk.
I'll stop.
You can walk right up.
Yeah. I'll stop.
You can walk
If the
right
bear
up
wakes.
to the stump. Yeah, the bear looks like it's giving no indication that it is going to wake. You see several empty wine bottles on the ground. You also notice a glass goblet that looks like it's been drunk out of. And there are stains from wine on it. And there's probably 6 or 7 bottles laying out here. The other thing you notice is that the tracks from the rodent that you're initially following come right up to this tree stump, and that's where they stop.
I look at the wine bottles and wonder if I recognize any of them, like names or anything. Or are they just unlabeled?
They look like very common wine bottles that a lot of the farmers package on a regular basis.
Do any of them have any wine left in them?
Sure, yeah. There's we'll say there's one that isn't even opened and uncorked yet.
Yoink.
And there's one that's about 2/3 empty.
I pick up the one that is not opened. Slide that in my bag.
You notice the date on it. It's only about 5 days old, so it's hardly fully ripe at this point. Or aged, I should say.
Ripe wine.
Aged. I'm obviously not a wine drinker myself, so I'm not going to pretend to know all the terms intimately.
I'm going to walk up to the stump. I want to check out this stump. I'm walking very quietly up to the stump, I should say.
Okay.
I have a dagger at the ready, just in case this bear decides it wants to wake up on me. But I want to investigate that stump to see if I can see where the tracks of this rodent have gone off to.
All right, let me have you make an investigation check as you examine this stump.
Okay, that would be an 11.
And 11, all right. These are great rolls for level 1 characters. We're just fine on that. Okay, looking at the stump, one of the big things that you notice, the ground around the stump looks like it is fairly packed down in that it has been trodden over frequently, like right up to the stump and away from it, particularly from the direction that the rodent has come. On the other side, it's not packed down. It looks a little more undisturbed. There's some flowers and things growing on the other side. And the stump looks like it's been here quite a while. It's not petrified or rotten, which is odd. It's a pretty hard wood. And despite the bear kind of pounding on it for however long he was before he went to sleep, there's some exterior damage, but for the most part, it looks okay.
Okay. Is there any entryways or anything like that, or it just looks like a stump that has no like holes or anything in it. It's just the bottom of a tree.
Bottom of a tree. Now it is fairly large. It's probably about 3 feet across.
Okay.
I go and scratch the bear's ears, hoping to kind of make him move his head.
Okay.
Encourage. While he's sleeping, make him more cozy.
Let's try to get him cozy, see if he'll curl up somewhere different. Let's go with animal handling. Let's see how that goes for Astley.
Natural 20, baby. Let's go.
Wow, that's a good roll.
There we go.
That's a good roll.
This is my bear. I ride him off into the sunset.
All right. You come over and you're scratching the bear just behind the ears, and he starts to turn a little bit, and you kind of figure out if you scratch a little bit on the other side, he starts to shift. And it doesn't take long until he has completely unwrapped his large hairy arms from this stump and kind of curl over into a ball facing the opposite direction.
So is he facing, like, am I like nose to nose with this bear now?
If you want to be.
Sure. I'm chilling. I don't care.
All right.
I continue to do that.
All right. So you've got
is the stump entrance, has it revealed itself?
There's not necessarily an entrance per se, but you notice what was previously covered by the bear's arm. There's a knot that's in the stump that looks like it has had a lot of use, like it's been pressed many, many times.
Well, I think we should press it. What do you think, Spectre?
I think that sounds like something that you should do. She takes a little bit of a step back.
I'll walk up and with all my force, just push this knot that's in the tree stump.
All right. So you push this knot, and as soon as you do, you hear some clanking and rumbling that sounds like gears. And this tree stump pops up on its side like a hatch door. And directly underneath the tree stump, there is a hole going down. It's about 2.5 feet wide. And there's a ladder there leading down into the ground. The hole is large enough that a medium-sized creature such as yourself or the rat could get down it, but the bear certainly wouldn't be able to.
Ooh, baby, a hole. That's my favorite thing. Let's go down there. I'm ready. And okay. Spectre is gunning it for the hole. She's going to go jump down in that hole. There's nothing she likes more than a hole in the ground.
I'll go walk over towards Astley and let her know of what we've discovered if she's still staring at the bear.
I am still petting the bear.
Yeah, you had to move a little bit as the trunk popped up so it didn't whack you in the head. You kind of like just dodge out of the way.
Yeah, but I feel like I've connected with this bear now. Well, it's asleep. You guys start your way down, and I'm going to listen. And if it doesn't sound like a bad time, I'll come join you.
Okay.
I pop
then
open the wine and take a little swig. And then put it back away.
I'll hop into the mysterious hole after Spectre.
Okay, so Spectre heads down the ladder into the hole. It's far enough you don't just want to, jump head first and land on your head somewhere because it goes straight down. And Kokusho follows straight after. The ladder comes down about 15 feet in the ground and it opens up into a room that I will describe as a very nicely furnished studio apartment, as much as it can be underground. There's a hammock on one side, and it looks like it's big enough for someone who's not too tall. There's a rug. There's a table off to one side. In one corner, there's a bucket that has a bunch of feathers, blue-colored feathers in it. One of them happens to be gold. There's a stove on the opposite side that can be used. There's a kettle on it, and that's kind of what's in this room. There is a wall on the far side of the room as well, with shelves that has bowls that are filled with different types of mushrooms in it. And there's a wine rack next to that.
Nice digs. I'm going to take that gold feather. She is going to look around with her hands, being the rogue, and pocket any kind of valuables she finds. Which it sounds like it's mostly just the gold feather. But she's going to go peruse the wine a little bit.
All right. Yeah, you peruse the wine. The bottles look really similar to those that were up above. But some of them are a little bit older, maybe a little bit better aged.
Little
She can
more
slide one
ripe.
of those in her bag. Yeah, she takes a bottle or two. She'll save one for Astley.
Astley doesn't hear any screaming immediately and descends down the ladder.
Hey, look at all this wine we found.
The pair's still out cold.
swig.
Astley comes down to this room. Yep. And
Take
observes
another
everything that Spectre and Kokusho have seen.
I'll approach the blue feathers and see if they'll make good as arrows.
If you want to use it for fletching on arrows, that would absolutely be something you could do.
Okay.
It would certainly
Yes.
make them stand out from the traditional white.
For now,
feathers
I'll
typically
just take them all, I suppose.
All right. Just grab the bucket.
Yep. Just dump it into my bag.
Yeah. It's not heavy, but it's got a little bit of volume.
So does it look like this room is it's just the room and like that's it, like the one room as far as we can tell at this time?
Yeah, it looks like it's just one room that comes down here, and it looks like it's lived in. Like someone's been here recently, keeping it clean. The bed is made. It's been swept.
Okay.
And there's no other points of egress in here. There's the only entryway is the stump.
And 4 walls.
That's all that's immediately visible. If you'd like to search around to see if there's anything else, you're welcome to do so.
Yes, I would like to do that. So I will investigation, I'm assuming.
Sure.
Yeah, solid 4. I'm not very good at investigation.
Not very. Yeah. Yeah. So Spectre, you're kind of looking around, looking for anything else interesting in here.
Too focused on that gold feather.
And not much.
Yeah, I got my cool gold feather.
Yeah, that gold feather's got you a little mesmerized. You got your loot?
So you said there's like some shelving that has like some bowls and stuff.
Right.
By chance, are any of those a gold chalice?
No, they are not.
I will pull a barrel or something over so I can like reach all the shelves, or well, if it's somebody small, they're probably not that high up. I'm gonna look through all the bowls and just.
They're not. You find there's like a little stool by where the shelves are, and you find that it's just about the right height for you to be able to reach the top where anything's placed.
I guess I'm gonna look through all the different bowls that have mushrooms and things and see if anything happens if I move them around or dig my grubby little hands in them, and if anything particularly looks cool in any of them, I will.
Yeah, so the mushrooms, when you look at the bowls, they're different types of mushrooms, and they're sorted by what kind they are. And some of them are being dried out to eat, and others are just being collected. There's 1 or 2 that have like a skull and crossbone on them that give you an idea that these are probably poisonous. So you may not want to eat or touch those. But mostly it looks just like a solid collection of all the different types of mushrooms that could potentially grow here in the Misty Forest.
I will take a bite out of one of the ones that is not the skull and crossbones. One of the other ones. I'll just chomp one down.
All right. So I guess the question is, does Astley like mushrooms?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Like,
all right.
Yeah.
So this one, you chomp on this mushroom, and it's definitely a stronger flavor than what you'd get just from your common portobello mushrooms that normally you would use for cooking or in salads and those kind of things. It's not bad. If you like mushrooms, you probably like it, but it's definitely a stronger flavor than typically what you'd run into.
I go lay down on the hammock.
All right. You go lay down on the hammock, and what you notice is, by the way the pillow is and just kind of the way that the hammock flows, you can tell that whoever is sleeping in this hammock isn't very tall. In fact, they're probably pretty close to your height.
Yes. Perfect size.
It's very comfortable.
Like a glove. Does the pillow feel normal? Or lumpy? Or weird?
The pillow is a down pillow. It is stuffed with feathers that are very comfortable.
I've heard the blue feathers are softer than normal feathers.
I will be taking this
Probably
pillow when we
is.
leave. But for now, I will just lay and stare at the ceiling. Because I don't know what else to do in here.
Yeah, the ceiling's a little bit boring. Not a whole lot there.
Well, Astley is sleeping, and after I've gotten all these blue feathers packed up, I remember that we're actually looking for something, and after I see it wasn't in the shelves, I'd like to investigate around and see if there's any signs of the rats, and see if they maybe came through here at all.
Yeah, the rat tracks up above definitely came and stopped to this stump, but the floor in here, you don't necessarily see any signs of it because it's been swept and it's been kept clean. But let's go ahead and get another investigation roll for Kokusho.
I rolled an 11.
And 11. All right. As you're kind of looking around, you notice there's one spot that is kind of concealed from the lack of furniture that's in here. Obviously, you can't see behind the stove. Most of the things are just on the wall. But just behind the hammock, where Astley is now taking a nap, you notice it's dark. And there could potentially be something else behind it that you didn't notice at first. It is a little bit hidden. It's kind of like on the ground underneath it, almost like under the bed, per se.
Can I continue investigating without waking up Astley?
How low can you go? Can you limbo? I don't know. Probably not. You're going to have Astley move to kind of get in and see what's there.
Can I go rejoin, I guess, whoever's Spectre wandered off to, and see if she could maybe investigate and not be so large and loud while doing so?
So Spectre sees his plight and just like stomps over there and goes, get out of the way. There's something in the corner here. We need to look right here. Well, get up out of bed.
Astley looks over.
You woke her up.
I wasn't sleeping. Oh. I was just resting my eyes. And I hop down and just go look at the weird spot with my dark vision.
Perfect.
All right.
I shake my head.
What you can see here is another. So in this dark spot, kind of hidden under the hammock, there is another hole you can see that continues further down. And that hole it's large enough you can probably shimmy in, but it's not super large. And it's kind of, compared to the rest of this studio apartment, it's a little bit dingy. So whoever is keeping this place clean apparently isn't going down this hole a whole lot. And you can definitely see in the dust that's disturbed, there are footprints there that match those of the rodent you had previously been tracking.
I take a mushroom and I throw it down the hole.
It doesn't go very far. And it's soft, so it's not making a lot of sound. You just kind of see it go down in the darkness and then just kind of stop. It's not a super sharp incline. It's kind of it descends a little bit, but it's not super steep.
I look at Spectre and Kokusho. Kokusho, you're gonna have to stand guard, huh?
Yep. I don't think I'll fit down the hole.
Yeah, let us little tiny people get down there. Well, I can crawl through that hole.
Yeah, Kokusho, you could wriggle your way in there, but it would be a little bit of a challenge and take you a little bit longer than it would Astley or Spectre to get in.
Okay, yeah, I'll stand, I guess, near where the ladder drops down just to make sure no one comes back while we're investigating.
I notice the tree trunk has flung back down, so it only stayed open for like a minute or two, long enough for you guys to get down, and then it kind of closed.
I step aside to let Spectre go first.
No, thank you so much. Spectre just rolls her eyes and just ducks down and gets in the hole and starts crawling.
I also start to crawl.
All right. So this tunnel leads on for a ways, and then it turns and it turns again. It's descending a little bit. As you go further in, you start to smell what smells like feces of some kind of animal. It starts to get kind of a musky, stinky smell, like there's some kind of refuse pile or something down here.
Did you fart?
Definitely.
Listen, if anything, I'm behind you.
This question still stands. You don't have to cover it up.
I prestidigitize Spectre's tail to smell like fresh linen.
Perfect. I was meaning to take a bath, so thank you.
For 1 hour.
Now it smells like crap and fresh linen in here.
It's all linen for me.
All right. As you continue on, in addition to the smell getting stronger, you start to hear some squeaking. There is definitely something alive down here further.
I pull my dagger out and put it in my teeth, like Crocodile Dundee, and I continue to crawl.
I just
now,
follow.
Is it a knife or is it a dagger?
I'll leave it up to the imagination. I mean, for her, it's a dagger, but it's technically, I guess, a knife because she's pretty small.
All right, you just said like Crocodile Dundee, so I'm like, is it a knife? Or...
Is it a knife? Yeah, this is a knife. Yeah.
That's not a knife.
Exactly.
All right, so dagger at the ready in your mouth. Spectre continues on. The tunnel goes a little bit further, and then it opens up into another room. And in here, you can see this where the scent of the stench is coming from. The back corner, about 15 feet off. This is not as large of an area as the living area above, and the ceiling isn't quite as high. It's maybe only about 4 feet high, so you can stand okay. Kokusho, who's down here, would be hunched over for sure. But there is a large pile of refuse that just looks like it has all kinds of crap and sticks and things in it. And there are 3 very, very large rodents that are kind of circling around this pile. They're kind of keeping their distance from you, but you get the sense that they're kind of protecting this refuse pile as if it is their personal treasure hoard.
Spectre, I have an idea.
Okay, hit me with it.
Turn around and face me.
Okay, she does that.
I give her a carrot to eat.
Okay. I'd look at the carrot. I'm like, is this a joke? Because this is a what's it called? This is a stereotype. This is a stereotype you're hitting me with right now.
I heard they got good fiber. Just eat it.
Okay. She again rolls her eyes and she starts munching on the carrot in a very Bugs Bunny-esque way.
Okay, now push. Give them an offering.
I'm wearing pants.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know if I can just do this on command. I don't know if your idea is a very good one. Why don't you eat the carrot and you push? I hear gnome soil is very, very attractive to rats.
That's forest gnomes. I am a rock gnome, and that is not the case.
I'm not pooping on these rats. She throws the carrot at Astley's head.
I venture a little more, and I attempt to offer some random food item, maybe some of those mushrooms that I had. I hold it out in my hand and give it a little toss towards the rodents.
Okay, you try to entice them with the food you have. It's pretty obvious, though, that they are on high alert and perturbed at your presence in this room. They're not aggressive towards you, but they're also not interested in anything that you're offering them.
Spectre tries to walk over there and tries to just shoo them away. She goes, get out of here. Move out of the way. Shoo, shoo, shoo. She just waves her arms around a little bit to try to disperse these rats.
The more you try to get them to move, they start to hiss. And you can tell if you get too much closer, they will probably bite.
How many are there? There are 3?
There are 3. Yep.
I cast Command. I don't know if I can do it on all of them. I think I can only do it on one of them. I cast Command on the largest looking one.
Okay.
So they have to do a Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, it's based off your DC.
My Wisdom is 14. Or wait, no, my Charisma.
Now, I'm just going to point out that for command to work, the creature has to understand the language that you're speaking to it. So your character would know that. So if you're going to try to give it a command, you'd have to try to do it in some way that this rodent's going to understand.
Squeak at them.
Well, I want to put it to sleep.
Okay.
Or actually, never mind. No, I don't. I rescind that idea.
All right. That's all right. Thinking through.
Spectre, I don't want to fight these guys.
They're rats. I think we could take a couple of rats. What's a rat going to do to a sword? Or a dagger? What do you have?
I pull out my pointy stick.
Oh, you could kill a rat with that, she says. Spectre turns around and she just readies her dagger. She readies her dagger. She's facing these rats. We're gonna fight these rats.
I guess we're fighting these rats.
All right. Like, enough of this. Time to
Spectre just
these.
rolls for initiative.
Yes, Spectre's ready. She's like, I'm killing these rats. These rats are gonna be toast.
All right, I'm good with that. Let's roll for initiative. We'll see what the rats get here.
Is that just for the D20?
If you click initiative, there's a button on your character sheet. If you just click initiative.
Yeah, it's plus your dexterity modifier, but
I got a 10.
Okay. Natural 1 for initiative. Good start.
That sounds about right, though.
Astley has a 1. Spectre has a 10. The rats rolled a 20.
I'm sure they did.
Now they aren't. No, they're not. They're not initiating here, though. They're kind of holding back, just defending their pile of refuse. So with that leaves Spectre to act first. What is Spectre going to do?
She's going to lunge at one of the rats, the nearest rat to her, with her dagger. So let me roll attack here. That would be a 7.
All right. So Spectre kind of comes in. Let me show you how to do this. And swings her dagger at this rat. Doesn't hit much. The rat kind of dodges to the side and counters with a bite on Spectre's hand. It takes 2 points of damage.
Oh boy.
You could tell the rat wasn't going to come towards you, but as soon as you came in, it was ready to gnaw your leg off.
That's a hard hit for a rat. So yeah, I'm down to 6 hit points from my 8.
From 8 to 6. All right. You realize it could have been a lot worse, even though it got you pretty good. Astley, you see this. Spectre goes in pretty confident, doesn't turn out so well. What would Astley like to do?
Astley is going to so are they all moving as one unit? Since they're all okay.
No, there's one that's kind of on top of the pile and then one on either side. So there's one that's near Spectre. It doesn't look like the other ones are moving over to where Spectre's just yet. They're kind of eyeballing you.
Okay. So if I was to viciously mock, I could only hit one of them with it?
That is a single target spell, yes.
I look at the Same one that had the situation with Spectre, and I take a big deep breath, and I'm trying to think of like a good child-friendly vicious mockery.
Insult.
For rats. Astley says something that needs to be bleeped out if it is said aloud. It is something so horrible that Spectre covers her ears a little bit. Something feces, something
QTOS tarnation or something.
Just a 14 to hit, I think. No.
Was Vicious Mockery a save, or is it a 2-hit roll? I don't actually recall.
Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw? Okay. So
that's what it says,
in that
but
case,
I
it's the
clicked on
damage
it.
part that matters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it still didn't attack damage. All right. I'll roll a wisdom save really quick here. All right. The rodent, as you scream explicitives at it in a language only understood by rodents, certainly not by humans listening to a podcast. It looks like his feelings are kind of hurt.
It's 1d4 psychic.
It kind of shrinks back a little bit. Yeah. You can tell that your insults had the intended effect. Kokusho, you're kind of up at the top, and after hearing some squabblings from your adventuring companions, you hear a scream of pain from Spectre, and then you hear Astley yelling explicitives. Are you intending to just stay where you're at and let them handle it, or did you want to try to move in?
Can I first, I guess, yell down towards them and ask them what's happening?
We could probably use a hand, buddy.
No, you're not gonna fit down here. I promise you that. It's not a good time.
You're getting conflicting answers. Who do you listen to?
I guess I look at the hole, kind of see, probably not gonna fit down there. I go back over to the shelf where those poisonous looking mushrooms were, and grab some and then throw them down the hole and tell them to maybe see if the rats will try to eat those.
Okay. Now you know from the previous mushroom that it's not going to get anywhere close to where they're at. Just throwing them. You're going to have to go down the tunnel a ways to get it to them.
Okay. Well, I throw it as far as I can and then yell at them to come back and grab it.
All right. So we'll say in combat terms, you're going to use a dash, pick up the mushrooms, try to go down the tunnel to where you can get it to them. We'll say that can happen next round. So it takes a little bit of time to do that.
Okay.
All right. The rats are now acting.
Did the rat take damage from my vicious mockery? It was a 1d4 psychic damage.
Yeah, it was 5 psychic damage it took. It absolutely took that.
And it has a disadvantage on the next attack roll.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. All right. One of the rats kind of stays where it's at and kind of comes closer towards Astley. Not the one that was insulted, but the one that was on the other side of the pile is kind of a warning. The one that was on the top hops down next to Spectre, and both of these rats start trying to gnaw at Spectre's hand. It's already bleeding a little bit from having one set of teeth marks in it. Luckily, Spectre is now well aware these teeth are out and snapping, and is kind of able to shimmy and jimmy and get out of the way of the teeth. So Spectre doesn't get bit again, but there are 2 rats now. One of them not feeling so confident about itself. The other one kind of perturbed that you got too close to its refuse pile that have moved down. And Spectre, you can tell, had these creatures succeeded and bited you again, it probably would have been worse than that first bit that you took. But you were okay at the moment. Didn't get punctured again. But it is now Spectre's turn.
Great. I'm going to try to slash at that viciously mocked rat again with my dagger. So
okay.
I'm going to roll attack. Ooh, 22 for that one.
Absolutely hit.
I'm real mad. So I will roll some damage. And let's see here. That would be 17. It says was with my dagger. So
that rolled
12.
another to hit roll instead of damage.
Weird.
Like,
okay, then let me see if I can't roll. It's a 1d6 plus 3. So let me just roll a d6.
Dagger would be a D4.
Does
So
it?
short swords are D6.
Okay, weird. Why is that? That's so strange. Okay, let's do a d4 then.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the character sheet. I don't know what it has in there.
I don't. It's on my character sheet. It's so weird. Oh, maybe I'm looking at the short bow. That's my bad. It's tiny letter.
That's short bow. Yeah.
So that's 5 because it'd be plus 3. So 2 plus 3. So 5.
All right. Now I will ask: is Spectre only using one dagger? They are light. You could use 2 if you wanted.
I do have 2 on my in my inventory. So yes, I will use 2.
Okay. So your first dagger plunges into the top of this rat's head that just bit you and has been insulted, and kills the rat outright. If you'd like to add any flavor to how that happens, you're welcome to do so.
Sure. I think it would be stuck to her dagger, and she has to shake it off. And she does that like kind of in a disgusted way, like "Ugh," and it like flings off into the corner. A crumpled mess.
Yeah, no, these creatures they're about 2 or 3 feet across, so they're big. They're not like
Oh, so yeah, she's
small
not
enough so they can just fling them around. Yeah, not like a rag doll by any means.
Put your foot up on its head.
Just,
to, like,
yes, she puts her foot on its shoulder and pulls it out, and kind of stumbles back a little tiny bit.
All right, excellent. And then if you'd like to use your other dagger, that would be your bonus action to attack with an offhand, normal to hit roll, and then the damage would be just a straight D4.
Sure. Yeah, I will swing at the other rat that is nearby with and that's a 9 as my attack roll.
Yeah, the 9 will not hit.
Okay. So I stumbled back a bit and kind of missed the actual hit on that.
Yeah, and trying to get your dagger pulled out of the other rat, you're a little bit off balance. All right, Astley, you see Spectre has some success here taking down the rat that you had just insulted. One of them is paying attention to you. You get the impression that it might charge at you any moment now, as they're kind of assessing that you're hostile. And you didn't move in closer, which was kind of waiting to see first. But then you've got the other rat that is kind of cornering Spectre. What would you like to do?
I would like to cast Vicious Mockery on this rat as well. It is an even longer chain of very interesting expletives. Some of them are just in gnomish.
Freaking heck.
Because I am disgusted with the situation that I'm in with the poopy and the rats and...
Now the one you're insulting is the one that's next to Spectre or the one that's eyeballing you?
The one that is eyeballing me. And I think my insults are kind of insinuating, you better leave now. It's time for you to go. You're nasty.
Okay. Let's get the damage roll for that. Again,
10?
This is rolling attack rolls. So
I clicked on Vicious Mockery.
D4 plus. Yeah, it's casting like an attack cantrip as opposed to doing the damage for the spell. Let me just take a quick peek at your sheet here.
Let me see if
there's the kind of stuff will let it out.
It says +2 on it.
Yeah, that would be 2 hit, but it's not rolling the damage on it. So what it should be, if you're looking at the sheet, just clicking on apparently is only rolling the attack. I don't know why, but it's a D4 psychic damage, and it also adds your spellcasting modifier, which is it charisma
2?
for bards, so it's a D4 plus 2 damage. Yeah, so let's have you roll a D4 plus 2.
So 5.
5. Okay.
Damage.
5 damage. So you probably used the wrong number on that last roll, but that's all right. Okay. Once again, you can tell this rat is very insulted by your gnomish cursings, almost as if they have heard gnomish before and can kind of understand what you're saying, even though it's not like exact, but they don't know the exact meaning, but they can kind of read what you're saying. And he definitely feels insulted. Just for perspective, I haven't rolled anything higher than an 8 for save or attack roll for these rats yet.
That's fine by
DM
me.
dice are very cold right now.
That's good because we're level 1.
All right, Kokusho is running down the tunnel, and he gets to where he can now see that Spectre and Astley are attacking these rats with weapons and dagger alike. And if you'd like to throw these mushrooms, you can kind of get them out in the room now.
So I can actually fit down the tunnel.
You kind of got to squeeze
Like
through.
bit,
It's a little bit uncomfortable, but you are able to fit. Yeah.
Would I have enough room to use a longbow, or is there not really any room for larger weapons?
You could. You're kind of squozing, so the attack roll would be at disadvantage, but you could certainly try.
I'll try it. I have faith that I'll be more effective with this arrow than these random mushrooms. So.
All right.
Do I or Spectre hear this setup happening?
Over the string of gnomish insults, I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and get that attack roll for Kokusho.
Okay. Do I just I don't know if I set it up.
If it's on your sheet, you can click it. Otherwise, just do like a /roll space 1d20 plus. It's probably +5 that you have on a bow, I'm imagining. There's code to make it roll both, but
that was the attack. That was a damage roll.
No.
Oh, you figured out the elusive damage roll.
How'd you do that?
No one else can do.
I just clicked on the name of the weapon in the attacks and spellcasting section.
Oh, and it did. Yeah, it did that.
Okay, so what? All right, wait. So this one, maybe?
No, you did it again.
No. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay.
Are you clicking on the name of the longbow, or?
Oh, that time I clicked on the damage section.
Yeah, that's so weird. Yours is doing the damage. Everyone else is doing the attack roll.
Okay. How about this one?
I just don't count that.
Okay, so which one should I roll?
Just type in /roll and then 1d20 plus let me see here for your bow. Yeah, +5.
Oof. I rolled a 4, so +5 is only 9.
A 9, yeah. And since you have disadvantage, you roll 2 and take the lower. The 9's enough. The arrow, the angle's weird enough. You think you can hit this rat, but it just goes off to the side of it and kind of misses its rear, and your arrow sinks right into this pile of refuse. And you'll probably be able to recover it, but it will probably never smell the same again.
Okay.
That could be a useful arrow later on. It could be just your smelly arrow.
Smelly arrow.
The insulted rat charges Astley, and it's not feeling real confident. It does try to bite Astley, but doesn't manage to hit. The insults to its psyche have been enough such that its accuracy is seriously diminished. Doesn't even come close. It's almost comical how it's kind of snapping around. The other rat, however, does manage to latch on to Spectre's leg with its teeth and draw some blood. Spectre's going to take another 3 points of damage.
Ouch. Spectre she winces in pain and squeaks a bit herself.
Yeah. And with that, Spectre is up to act.
All right, she's fully swinging at this rat that has attached itself to her leg with her main dagger, trying to stab it in the head, and rolls a 10.
Okay. That is going to miss. A 10 does not hit.
Okay, can I do a swing with my secondary weapon? And
Yes, you
she's
may.
just she's flailing at this point, trying to stab this rat. And that's a 17.
That will hit. So that's going to be just
Okay.
straight up D4 with the offhand.
You got it. So that'll be 3 points of damage to this rat.
All right. You have returned bite for jab with your dagger here with this rat. And the rat's definitely hurt, although you get the feeling it's not going to end too well for you if you keep trading blows like this. Astley, this rat that you have insulted has been trying to bite you right in your face. What would you like to do now?
I am going to, because did I pick up on the fact that it might have understood some of the words that I said, just based on the reaction?
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that it definitely understood you were insulting it, and it felt insulted, and maybe even the words a little bit, not just the delivery.
I am going to cast command, and on the one that's in front of me, and I'm just going to say leave. I don't know what to roll for that.
It's a wisdom saving throw for the creature. All right, I finally got a high roll. This was an 18 for the wisdom save. So you cast the spell telling the rat to leave. You can tell that it totally understood what you're telling it to do. It's a little bit odd in Gnomish, but it doesn't leave. It just stares at you like, no. This is my home. I have to defend it. Or something.
Can I react by asking it, what's in there? What is this? Where are we? What is this place?
All right. You try starting to talk to it, and it ignores your, as far as any kind of conversation. It's not going to have a conversation. It doesn't try to respond to you. It's still in attack mode with that. And you're not sure if that's just because it didn't have the magical backing to it, or creature obviously can't talk. It just seems to kind of understood what you were saying to it. And with that, we will jump to Kokusho. Your last arrow shot out of this tunnel wasn't spot on by any means. You can keep kind of wiggling in. If you'd like, you can get into the room now, which would give you a little more room to still shoot freely. Probably couldn't quite get into melee range if you wanted to try something else, but you can certainly get out into the room now.
Okay, so I'm in a bit. I'm not as cramped with the bow, but still not close enough for a short sword or anything, right?
Exactly. But if you'd like to shoot your bow, you can do so now without
all right,
having to keep your elbows tucked in next to your sides and everything else.
Let's try it again. You know, that was my warning shot. I'll try to hit this one.
Which one are you aiming for?
I guess the one.
One of them is biting Spectre actively.
Yeah, well, I think I'll aim for the one that the one with words. The one that's biting Spectre. Though I am amused and puzzled at the conversation Astley is having with the other rat.
In Gnomish.
Yeah, I'll attempt to attempt to fire at the one that's fighting Spectre.
All right, so it's just a D20 plus 5.
All right, this time I rolled a 13 plus 5, so 18.
18 will hit, absolutely.
Okay, so now I can click on this thing, right?
That's right.
All right, that's a 7.
All right, that will absolutely drop the rat dead. Which describe to us how that happens.
Okay, I guess the rat freezes up, detaches from Spectre, and kind of just rolls over on the ground, face up. The arrow probably pierced it through the eye or somewhere in the head region to kind of quickly kill it.
All right, so with a sickening thunk, the skull kind of cracks as the arrow pierces into the rat's head, and it just drops dead right next to the other one that had been stabbed by Spectre. That leaves the last rat that Astley is trying to talk to, trying to reason with, not having a whole lot of luck. It does try to bite Astley again. It's definitely acting like an animal that is cornered. What is Astley's armor class?
That's a good question. 10.
Is Astley not wearing any armor at all? I don't recall what bards get.
I don't think I put any armor on my character sheet. I probably would be wearing leather armor if I had to guess.
Probably leather or something. Okay, we'll check that out later.
It'd probably be a 14.
But there's no dexterity bonus.
Because that's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing light leather armor, and I have a 14 armor class.
Astley has no DC dex bonus, though. That is not Astley's strong point. So, Astley, you're trying to talk to this rat, and it takes a chunk out of your hand as you're kind of waving around trying to talk to it. And Astley takes 3 points of damage as well. And with that, we are back at the top of the order with Spectre. Both rats next to Spectre are now dead. You've got the other one Astley's trying to talk to, not having a lot of luck, and it just bit Astley. What would you like to do?
She's going to spin around with her bleeding leg, and I think she's going to try to stab it in the back because it's facing Astley, I'm assuming. She's going to take a swing at it with her dagger. And that's a 19.
That will hit.
For the main hand. So let me roll a d4. And I got 4 plus 3, so that's 7 damage.
All right. This already mentally damaged rat is again going to die from this stab wound. So I'll let you describe how that happens.
Okay, so she basically just stabs it in the back of the head while it's viciously snapping at Astley. And she just leaves her dagger in it for now and kind of like slumps back onto the ground, bleeding from her hand and her leg, just like wincing, but very angrily. Just looks like, these darn rats. Damn dirty rats.
There we go. All right. All 3 rats have been vanquished. We can play some victory music, whatever that might be. Of your choice. I always think of the Final Fantasy music. That's just me.
Yeah, the bum 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 bum.
That's the one. All right. And with that, we are going to wrap this session up. We will have to wait and see what can be found in this refuse pile next time.